The Infinix Smart 7 HD comes just after the Smart 7 Plus this year with a very similar visual cues and a successor to last year's Smart 6 HD. It costs just only 57,000 Naira and it comes with 64GB of storage and 2GB of RAM with additional 2GB using memory fusion. This review is basically everything you need to know about the Smart 7 HD before you buy. Opening the box, you are greeted with the phone itself, wrapped in plastic with some major highlights printed on it. Next is a 10-watt charger, which has now become a standard on Infinix low-end devices, a micro USB cable and the regular SIM tray ejector tool, free earpiece, MTN free data redemption card, X-Pack leaflet, and a transparent hard plastic case that actually fits the device so well. And it's so interesting to see how Infinix still adds all this in the box while other brands don't see it as a necessity. Now to the device itself, as earlier said, you're looking at the same visual cues from that of the Smart 7 Plus, though the 3D design on the plastic back here is kind of minimal and has this shimmering effect when light reflects on it. Very beautiful stuff. It's a jet white glossy finish as you can see and is not susceptible to fingerprints or smudges, which is good. And I think you will like the device in this color if you are getting one that's without slapping the case on it. Still on the rear is a fingerprint scanner, which is a welcome development from last year's Smart 6 HD that has no fingerprint feature. Over there is an 8MP primary lens with a 0.8MP lens for depth, while the front got a water drop notch housing a 5MP lens for selfie. Just like the Smart 7 Plus, the fingerprint here works 95% all the time. It's not a deal breaker though, as it still does the job of unlocking a device, which is a plus for an entry-level phone of this price point. Underneath is a micro USB charging port along with a mono speaker grill, a microphone and a 3.5 headphone jack, pretty standard feature for an entry-level device these days. On the right side of the plastic frame is a clicky volume rockers and a power button. And on the left side we've got a dual 4G SIM tray with support for an SD card, while the top of the phone is as plain as seen. As for the screen, it got 6.6 inches IPS LCD display, which translates to 84.6% screen to body ratio. Same deal from last year's Smart 6 HD. It is a 720 by 1612 pixel display that offers punchy colors with decent viewing angles. While it has a standard 60Hz refresh rate, the panel supports up to 500 nits of peak brightness, making it legible even under direct sunlight. No wonder Infinix was proud enough to print big sunlight display on the retail box. That said, the screen is bothered by relatively chunky bezels that impact the overall viewing experience, but you'll get used to it and you'll definitely enjoy watching media content on this one. Under the hood is a 2018 Unisoc chipset. It's an entry-level processor built on 28nm process. Supporting it is a 2GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. My main concern, however, is the 2GB of RAM in here, though you also have an extra 2GB from memory fusion. You still experience occasional lags here and there, most especially when having many apps in the background, so keep things basic on this one. The device is not a gaming phone by any chance. You can easily get away playing games like Subway Surfers, Candy Crush and similar titles. Aside from those, only basic stuff, so do have that in mind if you are getting this device. On the software department, the Infinix Smart 7 HD runs on XOS 12 overlay based on Android 12 Go edition. This is a trimmed down version of Android 12 with suite of apps which aren't as resource hungry as their actual versions. While it's rated to work best with entry-level smartphones, that doesn't seem to be the case here. As expected of an Infinix smartphone, you'll be getting a bunch of bloatware that you can't uninstall. Additionally, you'll be getting way too many apps and app recommendations, which is quite frustrating. However, the phone has a built-in call recorder, FM radio, and an array of customization options to explore. While I'm not impressed by the choice of the processor in here, the battery life was impressive. Rated at 5000 mAh, it sure lasted up to 3 days on casual use, and it took up to 2.5 hours to fully charge it using the bundle 10-watt charger. Now back to the mono speaker located right here. It is average at best. You'll be better off enjoying music or movies using a headphone instead of the single firing speaker. Anyways, things aren't looking perfect using the main camera. It offers kind of okay results when the sun is out. This is just a small Android smartphone with a touch of camera. Not that bad of a camera, just make sure your subjects are well lit and you get a good photo to share with your friends or on social media. You can also shoot videos with it on max 1080 pixel at 30 frames per second, and you'll also be getting shaky footage with out of place autofocus. Seeing this device, I was kind of like, who was it really made for when you have the regular Smart 7 and the Smart 7 Plus? Then I realized that Infinix has tricks up their sleeves when it comes to market strategy. You see, phones like this are simply made for those on a very tight budget but in need of a small Android phone to use for the main time, or a student in need of a small Android phone to buy without spending much. So if you're looking for a super budget phone for basic use, this device can be a good option to consider. So that's it guys, my 2-cent opinion of the Infinix Smart 7 HD. Do like and subscribe if you got value from this video, and also let me know your thoughts via the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and you'll hear from me when next you hear from me.